I'm doing this broadcast because silence is complicit. Karine Jean-Pierre, 35th White House press secretary, said silence is complicit. She's no longer the press secretary, and I'm no longer at the city of Delray Beach. So I went to visit the city of Delray Beach Monday, October 28th. I got some printing done and touring done. I printed these promotional materials. That's what Atlantic Avenue looks like going east all the way to the beach. That's the Blue Community Market. That's the food you can get. That's the $10 breakfast grits, eggs and bacon. That's the buffet. And they have Jamaican beef patties for $1.50. You go in the microwave at the back of the store. They finished building the Sunday Village. It's very nice. It's connected to Sunday House, which is the hotel, Sunday House. I need to encourage all the older people in the business world and those who have discouraging circumstances. I'm intrinsically motivated. Harvard Business Review always helped me in classes. It now challenges my reasoning ability with satirical intent, defending a good company from bad investors. Here are some Harvard Business Review covers, really great. You have to keep a positive attitude no matter what age you are, no matter what your circumstances are. I'm inspired by all the Dakinis, Dr. Arkan Shiamborikwa, Aisha Curry, Sandra Appiah, and Kamala Harris. Bill Gates is a global auditor, and he showed a lot of emotion in his video about sending $200 billion to Africa. I was trying to justify $50 billion for 31 countries by an audit. John Bertrand Aristide also justified that there should be 21 billion given to Haiti for the independence debt. Dr. Arikana Shiamborika, she explained to us how the IMF loan interest rate exploited Africa and almost left Africa forever defeated. Professor Victor Gao is a global equity auditor, and he just said people have to have all the data so they can choose. Professor Zhang Weiwei is a global economist. It would have been so easy to do to leave my son in Jamaica. That's a picture of him in Jamaica with his cousins, because I had a elementary school right in front of my mother's house. I could just jump the fence and I was very safe. A judge was needed for this situation with a child in the gifted class. My mother has been working since she was 17, housing equity from the Denton business, which was my family's business from in Jamaica to New York to Florida, and just keeping women safe and children safe. So when we talk about misogyny, we can say, how hot is it? How much can they get away with? When you hurt women, you hurt children. It does not matter how good houses look, values help children. Dr. Jordan Peterson said, be literate and compelling. There's one of his book covers, Maps of Meaning. So my audit video is complete. I might redo it. I always have errors on my videos because I'm not using a Sony. Well, Donald Trump now has sanctions on the ICC. So he declared the United States court weaponized and invalid, but he's not allowing us to go to the international court. And two judges did apologize to Africa. And so Africa was about to push through to the ICC and they stopped doing that. This is the ICJ, and the ICJ is affected by the Rome Statute, and the United States is not recognizing the Rome Statute. However, Trump did say they weaponized U.S. court, and I was in U.S. court. I did a deposition and I was on the witness stand. I felt like they treated Donald Trump like a clown. They also reversed Roe versus Wade, and Donald Trump said we won the case at the ICC, which validates the international courts. So this is one case where there was no conviction, and this is the ultimate misogyny, where they go from abuse, degrading their reputation, and then she's murdered and her throat is slashed. It was a very bloody scene, and her sisters sit there not knowing what happened. That's why I think silence is complicit. So I have a lot of acronyms because I'm trying to look at something that people don't like to look at, which is misogyny. I asked a lot of people their opinion on the O.J. Simpson case, and I try to tell them that there are gangs of police. I think that there are people who are allowing or permitting, because the FBI, when I spoke to the FBI, they were seem to be permitting the people to break into my house, violate my Fourth Amendment rights, and damage my kitchen. So I moved on to talk to the CIA. And I don't know how the CIA will feel, but I hear the CIA is bombing cartels in Venezuela. I'm a global business mentor, so I decided to promote one really good business. It's John Miller, CEO of Cali Group. He keeps developing his robots, and I can see where this is headed. I try to tell the kids out there, you won't be working at Burger King and McDonald's anymore. But this is so necessary because the robots will prevent conflict, error, and they're cheaper and less trouble. So it's not about the house. My problem is not about the house my kids was in. It was about the school and the gifted class my son was in, because that's what my values were based on. That's my son. That's my grandmother. And I still miss my son so very much. And my sister sent me this picture, and I know this could have been prevented if I had left him in Jamaica. So I guess it's easier for us to manage our kids in Jamaica than in the United States, because two of these kids were gifted. One is now a PhD in neurosurgery, and the other one is dead. I miss my son so deeply. And this is a picture of them. Frank Papito, he was a sound engineer traveling to 30 countries. He said that we shouldn't say, have a good day. If we're really genuine to people, we say, enjoy life. Why would you give a person just one day? And by coincidence, the Jehovah's Witnesses have a magazine called Enjoy Life. Plum Market is under construction in Palm Beach Gardens, and there's a small gourmet shop in front of that location, but Palm Beach Gardens by the port is just the nicest, most relaxing place to be. So Plum Market will be very successful. You can see it has this really, it looks so clean and so well organized, both these areas in the Plum Market. And Whole Foods Market used to look really good, but this looks so great. And Ritz Carlton is building some $4 million condos nearby, so I guess those rich people will be able to go in here and get stuff. So John Sarbana says we should be silent, use integrity and hard work. And I really admire John Sarbanes and his father, Paul Sarbanes, but they didn't want to be president. But he would be the best pick. Here's Aisha Curry. I'm her biggest fan. She's in the media being slaughtered by trolls right now. And I don't even care what she says because I just look at the whole picture. And Steph and the four kids, and how hard Steph worked to playing basketball and shooting so well. And Steph reminds me of my father in this video with his daughter. He was telling her she doesn't have to be very good or excel at anything. She can just be a normal person and her authentic self. And when I was 9, my father demonstrated to me how to be a Cuban fighter and how to be brave. So Steph's a good father, and my father was a good father, and that's Steph's father over there. I wonder if I'll get my Social Security retirement soon. I got one part of it, which is the card Wednesday, November 5, and that's gonna make me able to move on, hopefully to Switzerland, and have a really great career. So I learned some new words this week: complicit from the press secretary at the White House, and resonate from Aisha Curry. So this is Venezuela being bombed by Trump, and I feel emotional about it. I had some friends from Venezuela living near me in Jamaica when I was a child. They were used to go out with my parents, and my dad's from Cuba, so they all spoke Spanish. So it's so funny to me that Africa got so hot and bothered when Trump took away US aid, and all these really educated Africans started to tell all the secrets. One of the secrets they told is that these people right here were brought to the UK from the Caribbean to do work, and then at a certain point they were deported. So they weren't doing slave work, but they were doing work that the UK needed. So it just shows that people need you one moment, and then the next moment they'll be deporting you. So this lady here, I emailed her. She was saying that the US military is disrupting the Caribbean, and it's not about the cartels, it's about politics. So I tried to follow up on this myself. And I went into the DeepSeek AI and I tried to find out who is to blame. I asked the DeepSeek, who is to blame? The users or the suppliers? These are users who have recovered. And by coincidence, when I was in Delray Beach, these two men were eating pork rinds and drinking beer. So I spoke to them politely because one of them had told me something about his townhouse. And then they said, when we fall out, they will send us to rehab. So you see, this is the cycle, the swivel door of drug users and alcohol users. And this is part of the little research I did. So when I asked the AI about the blame and about the data, the taxpayers' money is funding these rehabs and all the maintenance of people who are on drugs and off drugs. And I was just thinking that the Jehovah's Witness taught us such discipline that when we were in Jamaica, we did not have any marijuana, although it was door to door. So we got to get that discipline to the people before they try drugs. So the Trump organization, oh, I was getting some emails from Donald Trump's son, but it's probably not him, it's probably his secretary. These people are not online, their secretaries are online. But here's 7 million protesting no kings in the USA. And this is Paradise Bank. And Karen Jean-Pierre, who said science is complicit, also said, she said people are living rent-free in her brain. And I don't know what she means, but I just thought it was really cute, and I like to repeat things that really smart people say. So we're trying to do heads together forever for the Caribbean and all those countries where people are deported: Anguilla, Antigua, Barbuda, Barbados, Belize, Cayman Islands, British Virgin Islands, Haiti, etc. There's so many countries, like 31 countries had deportation. But one little problem is that the Nazis of the Holocaust, they were dispatched to Argentina, Brazil, Chile, and Paraguay. And people who will have the mind of the Holocaust to do that to the Jews might have descendants who cannot have one love and be supportive or put their heads together. That's my international human rights attorney. I love this woman so much, but she's trying to be an MP also, and that's a picture of her and her peers. And she doesn't come online a lot, or her secretary doesn't come online a lot. No, this is an emotional issue for me. This is a Hurricane Melissa in Jamaica. And this is so disappointing, and it's such a tragedy because right now Africa is asking for money. Haiti's asking for money, many countries are asking for money, and now Jamaica is moving forward, and this has set us back. So it's I have to watch it every day to see how they can cope with taking 2 steps forward and 5 steps backward. Thank you.